been doing a little bit of work on the bulkhead, so got bits of metal in the way. I'll show you the bulkhead in a minute, but for now, this is to go in here. I'm gonna call it a night now, but I'll just show you where I'm up to. I've had to cut quite a bit off the bottom. I still need to trim this up, but essentially I've got it so it'll fit up. I'm gonna right, so this is all pretty much prepped up now. Just got to drill the holes in it. I've done a few stitches going down the inside just to hold the integrity. Really nice and thick steel, and it's penetrated through really well, as you can see as well. Sorry, underneath, and I've just gone over that bit as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go and take it over to the bench. What we'll do is we'll wire brush it off, drill the holes for the spot welds, and put a bit of weld through primer on it. And then at this end, because I'm not going to be able to access this very well, up to here, in fact I'll probably do it all the way across to be totally honest, I'll put some of this Lidl's own metal protective paint on it, which is like their version of Hammerite. I've used it on other stuff before, it's brilliant. So I'll use the white in there, and hopefully that'll be okay then, all where the subframe's going to mount, and I'll throw a load of wax oil in afterwards. I've left this for quite a while and it's still tacky the paint, so I'm going to wait till tomorrow to get that welded up. So I was just going to say there before I dropped everything, I have tried to make myself a panel, and it's kind of getting there, but it needs a bit of bending and manipulation. So what I'll do, I'll blast this in now quickly. In fact, I can probably weld that from the other side, to be fair. So I'll get that tacked in, that piece, and I'll try and think about getting that one in, see what we can do. I'll get some lights on. Just cut in there, this is where I've got up to. So obviously that's where the air conditioning pipe's going to come through. The heater pipes will come through round about there. I've left a gap down the bottom which I'm going to put a funnel onto, similar to what was there, to let the water drain out. I think you can see it does fall, although on the camera it doesn't look like it does as much, but it is falling to that gap. I'm going to fill the inside full of seam sealer. It's been a bit of a pain because it's got quite a lot of shapes, this. So all I need to do now is seam weld all the way around, which once I've done that, I'm going to call it a night. Alright, so it's welded up, just want to linish him back. It's just gone 10 o'clock at night, so I don't really want to go grinding now for 10-15 minutes, but I'm quite pleased with it. Need to tidy it up a little bit, but you can see the shape there bulges down, goes across, and pretty much all of there's a lot of different angles in this. I think it ties in quite nice, so I'm just gonna have to do an oval hole there, get all that linish back. I may throw a skim of filler on it, but I don't think I will, so I'm going to Gravitex it with stone chip anyway, all the bay anyway, just to protect it. But I still need to make the water outlet, so that's what that's for. This is all rippled where I've just ripped it back just so I can basically keep it off. So I'll get a dolly behind there and I'll straighten all that up once that next thing's on. I don't know if I'm going to have to just put a small piece across there, or whether I'll just leave that and put well, I'm going to be putting a piece of rubber over it anyway. So what I'll probably do is cut a piece of steel or aluminium around that shape, just with a piece of rubber on the inside with a slice down it for the pipes to go through, and I'll do the same on this side. So it's definitely getting there. I'll just show you the inside, because I've just had to pull the heater box out for now. I've not had a look at this myself yet, but see that it's welded all the way through. What I'll have to do with all that, I think, see the bits there, I think that's to deflect the water away from the original heater box. So obviously that'll still work. I'm hoping so anyway. I may just need to put an extra piece up there and over this side, not too bad. I can probably do that with seam sealer, but on this side I might just put a little piece of steel riveted on or spot welded on, just so that no rain comes down that bit and drops on. So what I don't want it to do is go behind this lip, and then it'll be into the truck, you see, into the cab. So I don't think that'll happen, but there's no point in leaving it when I know I can do something about it. And you can see obviously all the penetration through everything. It's been double welded that now, so the piece that I did before, the bottom piece, that's welded all the way through. So I'll pick up with you in the morning. My battery's nearly flat anyway, so see you tomorrow. Alright, so it's next day, gonna crack on with getting the suspension mount in place. Just a tip, don't weld with a vest on. Got a bit of a suntan. So here's the mount. See where I've welded it on the inside there and all down there, and I've put weld through primer on. As I said, on the inside I've thrown a bit of one coat white paint on, and we'll just get that in place now. And now we're going to have a look at getting this chassis in. First half spot welded in place. See them welds there aren't great because I just run out of gas, but I think I've got some more in the garage, so I can crack on. What I need to do is get that seamed there, up there and across. Same on that side. And then I can manipulate the rest of that piece down to meet up with the mount there. Then I'll stitch weld that, and then we'll get the other side in the same. Then we can put the closing plate on, and then that's that corner finished. Bar obviously need to do this and guss it in then we can start looking at this again. It's warm under here today, it's 23 degrees, it's boiling. Let me show you where I am though. So you've just seen, spot welded that in. I've now tapped it to the bottom of the chassis rail, or sorry, to the spring hanger, and welded it across there and inside there. So I've double welded that, so it's really thick. Welded at the front and all the way down. This piece is now going to drop in. I'll plug weld across there. I'm going to drill this side because it's too difficult to access from the back. So I'll drill this side there and plug weld that from in the bay, and then I'll squeeze this together. I've been using the hydraulic pincher or whatever that thing's called to squeeze it tight, and then I'll knock that flush with this, and that'll make for a really strong chassis leg. And then by the time it's got the plate over the top, so what I'm waiting for now, I'm just waiting for my compressor to kick in. I'm just going to give it a quick blast down there, quick flash of primer underneath the bottom, just round the welds, and I'll get this in. Here's the other part now welded in, so it's totally welded across. I've doubled it up on the inside, welded on the outside, all the way around, all inside. So that chassis rail now is absolutely solid, and not only that, because I've overlapped them, one end is stitched on to the spring mount, so that's definitely not going anywhere. I've just got to make that piece that sits in between there now and spot weld that in, and just weld a little bit underneath, just in them holes there. Just need to tap them up. Just had a go at doing that from a blind side and it's looked shocking, so I need to tidy that up, but I just need to fill them spot welds in. So I'm gonna have 5 minutes and then do that. It's boiling. Just give the inside of the chassis rails some direct to metal paint, just to give them some protection. I'll clean up the top surfaces in a little bit, and then we'll get the top piece fitted in place. Then we can start getting the captive nuts on, getting all this side buttoned up. So that'll be this corner at least done. Then I think it's going to be a case of deciding what I'm going to do there, but I want to get that patched up first because that's just a silly little job. I want to linish back all this as well, which is probably going to be tomorrow, to be fair. It's more this corner's what's bothering me because it's knackered. I've got a suspension top in my basket on eBay, so I'm gonna have to order that. I'm definitely gonna have to do it. Alright, so I've got the inside of the closing plate all weld through primered. I was going to do the top of the chassis rails, but I'm going to get it all seam sealed, so I don't think I need to. It's had a blast of paint in there anyway, so a little bit of luck, this should go in pretty nice. Right, so I've got that clamped down now in a good couple of places, at least enough to get a fair few areas plug welded up. So I'll do that plug welding now, and then we'll start moving it around. Need to move this light. So bar linishing back, we're remade in this corner now. So all the way through, shrimpling plates on, captive nuts welded on. I've left some meat on the welds. Then on the underside, it just wants the spot welds linishing back just a touch. I'm leaving that bead there because it'll be covered by stone chip down the bottom there. It's fully seam welded in. I've still not got to do the underneath, and I've still got to do that plate in there. Next morning now, just have a quick look and I'll show you how it looks in the daylight, because last night I couldn't really see it. So obviously we've got the new suspension mount down the bottom and the new closing plate welded on top. I'm not linishing that back anymore. Like I say, I just want to keep as much strength as I can in it. All welded there, welded down there. I'm going to seam seal all of that as well. Obviously seam seal around there once the engine mount's sorted. And then underneath, light's not great here, but it's looking pretty good. So we're getting it solid again. I'm not sure what I'm doing now. I just need to go and tidy out my garage, the other one anyway. I'm going to give this all a half-hour tidy as well. And what I'll do is I'll blast a load of, in fact no, let me weld that up and then I'll put a load of rust converter all over that, blast it inside again and inside there before I do anything.